As Shadow introduces himself, Xenon recognizes him as the one that has been going after the cult, but notes he is a coward as he has been targeting only bases without the cult's core members. However, he is now facing a core member and the future 12th seed of rounds, Xenon. As Xenon attacks Shadow, he moves behind him, placing himself between Xenon and Alexia and mocks Xenon, asking him where is this core member he spoke of. The monster had escaped above ground. After evacuating the citizens, the knight face it, but their attacks are ineffective as the monster just heals. Iris comes and inflicts a more serious wound on the monster, but it heals that too. She decides to get more serious and cuts the monster arm. However, the monster easily regenerates it. Seeing that, Iris decides to cut it to small pieces so that it won't be able to regenerate. After inflicting several wounds, Alpha comes and states she is just making her suffer. Alpha states she knows the monster pain and suffering and she will put an end to it. Alpha then attacks the monster, curing it and returning it to her original human form, a young girl. Alpha sees a pendant on her, revealing that she is Milia, Grease's daughter. Alpha then tells Iris that they are Shadow Garden and she should just stay back and enjoy the show as they deal with this situation. Xena decides to get more serious and uses more magical power, but is still easily overwhelmed by Shadow. Xenon gets angry and continues to attack Shadow, who easily blocks his attacks. Seeing the fight, Alexia is amazed by Shadow and sees that at its core, his swordplay is ordinary. It's like her ideal swordplay she dreamed when she was young. However, she could never become stronger or equally strong to her sister. Shadow slashes Xenon, who gets angry and asks him why is he hiding his identity if he is that strong. Shadow states they are Shadow Garden and they hunt in the shadows, which is the sole purpose of their existence. Annoyed, Xenon takes out some red pills and explains that by taking them, he will awaken a new nature beyond human limitations, and if an ordinary person takes them, he will be overwhelmed by their tremendous power and die. Xenon then takes the pills and transforms, stating he is the third awakened. Having far more destructive power than before, Xenon attacks Shadow, however, he easily blocks him once again. As Shadow overwhelms Xenon, he tells him that there is no road to almightiness if you use borrowed power. He then sets a magic circle around Xenon, which surprises him how powerful it is. Shadow states there once was a man who wanted to withstand a nuclear bomb. The man then developed his muscles, honed his mind, perfected his skills, however, there were still heights he could not attain. In time, Shadow realized that if he don't want to be vaporized by a nuclear bomb, he needs to become nuclear himself. Demon thinks he is crazy and tries slashing him, but his sword breaks as it hits Shadow. Shadow then tells him to witness his almightiness as he uses his almighty power. He then chants, "I am atomic." A huge explosion then occurs, leaving a large crater in the middle of the city. Alexia finds herself unharmed in the middle of the crater. He picks a sword and starts practicing her fencing. Iris sees her and comes down, hugging her and states she is glad that she is alive. Sometime after that, Alexia returns to school and she tells Sid of what happened. She thanks him for liking her fencing and tells him that she also finally learned to like it. They were pretending to be a couple, but now Xenon is dead. Alexia wonders if Sid wants to keep their relationship going, but Sid refuses. That shocks Alexia, who then attacks him. The spot they talk get known as people found large amount of blood there, but no bodies or missing people were found or reported. As a result, in time the case got known as one of the school's 7 mysteries, the Bodiless Murder. The Shadow Garden girls are excited about how powerful Shadow is and how all of their enemies will one day vanish from his light, just like Xenon. They have a report from Zeta, who found the target and will be investigating. Ida's research is also going smoothly. However, they have one issue: someone has been pretending to be from Shadow Garden and delivering justice. They are covering their tracks well, but Gamma is sure they will catch them. Iris now knows about the cult in Shadow Garden. She knows that Xenon was a adherent of the cult, and because of that, she doesn't trust the Knight's order. She trusts Glenn and Marco, and decides to form a new investigation team with them. Iris reveals they have found an item, but need to find someone who can decipher its functions. Meanwhile, while reading and carrying books, Sherry Barnett bumps into Sid, who is covered in blood from Alexia's attack. Skell and Poe wonder how things went with Alexia, and if Sid got at least a kiss. However, Sid tells them that they broke up and haven't done anything. Disappointed, Skell tells him that he knows a place that sells all kinds of good stuff, including something called chocolate, which they can use to give to girls and win them. As Skell and Poe are too excited, Sid accepts, as he is also curious to see what this world calls chocolate. Iris shows an artifact they found in the hideout of the cult. However, as they can't decipher it, she asks Sherry Barnett, the most brilliant mind in the kingdom, if she can decipher it. Her father, Lutheran, encourages Sherry to do it. Sherry accepts, and Iris decides to assign the Crimson Order to keep watch on them. Lutheran hears that's the new Knight Order that Iris formed, and Iris confirms, and that it's a small order, but it made by people she trusts. Alexia also wishes to help, and Iris accepts. Sid, Skell, and Poe go to the store, but the line is so big that they have to wait 80 minutes for their turns. Poe is worried, as that means they will head back at dark, and he heard there was a killer going around at night. While waiting, a worker from the store asks Sid if he can come with her and answer some survey. As Sid enters the store, he feels it's like a department store from his old world, as there are many things that remind him of his world that he haven't seen elsewhere in this world. Sid is eventually taken to a throne room in a house above the store building. Sid then sees Gamma next to the throne and figures at her store. She confirms and states she recreated it from the wisdom Sid shared with them. Sid recalls telling the girls random stuff and notes that Gamma was the smartest among the girls, but also lacks athleticism. In that moment, Gamma ends up falling the stairs. Gamma invites Sid to sit on the throne, and as he sits, he feels like a king. He congratulates her and creates something like fireworks as her reward, which excites her, as the light reminds her on the light he used to save her. Sid guesses she's making money, and Gamma confirms, stating she has several franchises around the cities, and that they even use mail orders for remote areas. She shows him she has 1 million zeni as immediate disposal. Hearing that, Sid is shocked. Gamma guesses Sid game due to the incidents and the killer, who states he is from Shadow Garden. They are investigating him already and promises Sid that they will put an end to his deeds. Sid had no idea, but decides to play along and states he has some idea who it may be as he recalls his incident with Alexia. Gamma introduces their newest member of the Numbers, and explains that Alpha acknowledged her skill. Sid tells her that he will call her if he needs her. He then tells Gamma that he wants to purchase 3 chocolate of the cheapest, but Gamma states she will give him chocolate for free from the highest quality. Sid gets happy, and while laughing with Gamma, he also steals 1 coin. Sid and his friends then rush heading home. Sid guesses that Alexia went crazy and had started killing people. Hearing something, he stops and tells his friends that he needs to poop right away, and tells them to go before they see him shit himself. Skell and Poe believe that is very manly and states they won't forget him and will never tell anyone about it. Sid then goes in the back alley where he heard Alexia fighting, but is surprised to see her fighting some men who claim to be from Shadow Garden. They manage to injure her, but Sid shows up as Shadow and kills one of the men and tells the others that they will also pay for impersonating Shadow Garden. The men run and Alexia asks Shadow why is he fighting, but he tells her to stay out of it. Shadow follows the men and kills one of them. New then shows up and congratulates Shadow on finding them that fast and requests that he leaves the rest to her, and she will get information from the remaining man. Shadow agrees and leaves. New then cuts the man's arm, disarming him, stating she isn't as forgiving as Shadow. Elsewhere, a man informs a knight that he lost contact to the puppet and the 2 other men. The knight states it's fine as they located the item they need and their priority is retrieving it. Alexia tells Iris that the killer was impersonating Shadow Garden. Alexia adds that Shadow is fighting the cult, and Iris hopes that they will learn something more when the artifact gets deciphered. Alexia then asks her who she thinks is the real enemy, Shadow Garden or the cult. Iris states it's both and that she won't allow anyone to wreak havoc in the kingdom. The next day on the train for school, rumors spread that Sid had shit his pants. Skell and Poe are nervous and ask Sid if he got the chocolate from yesterday. At school, Skell gives chocolate to an upper-class woman, but the person she's engaged shows up and catches Skell and wants to have a chat with him. Poe states he won't follow Skell's footsteps, and that he learned all about the girl he plans on giving chocolate. As he approaches her, she recognizes him as her stalker and yells. Sid decides to give his chocolate to the first girl he sees and be over with his background character moment. Sherry then sits next to him and he gives her the chocolate and leaves. Sherry recognizes Sid from the other day. In her room, she wonders what is the chocolate. Her father then comes in and recognizes it's chocolate and explains it's been popular lately. Sherry tells him that a boy gave it to her, and her father guesses it's a present and it must have been love at first sight. He wonders what she will tell him as he must be waiting for an answer. He also tells her that study and research is important, but she also needs to learn on how to interact with others. He starts to cot, but states he has been feeling better lately and is lucky to have such a good daughter. Sherry states she is the lucky one as he adopted her. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and press the bell so as not to miss new videos. Bye everyone.